everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Let's try something a little different, or rather, maybe something a little older, because we haven't done this in a long time. It's part 2 of Back Issues.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, we're gonna do the rest of our volume from David Michelinie and Todd McFarlane in the first adventures of Spider-Man vs. Venom. I don't know. There's another part to this. Let's just do the rest of it.
Right.
While the memories are still fresh.
It's not labeled part 2.
It's not.
It's just the next Venom story.
And I should point out that the reason why there were ever any part 2s or multiple episodes of Back Issues was because in the infancy of YouTube, there were time limitations.
Oh, yeah.
And so we could only upload up to about 30 minutes at a time. And as some folk might notice, the show runs a little long. It's not like we became more verbose. It was just that we had to cut it. And so those episodes got to be 2 parts.
It's like the Red Letter Media Mr. Plinkett reviews initially on YouTube were like 6 parts or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't be more than an hour each section.
That's right.
You could just split this up into 120-minute, 1-minute segment shorts.
Yes, that's ComicPop on TikTok. You can watch like part 7 first, and then
they'd be like, "Oh, where did this come from?"
Start getting pushed random parts of the episode, and so you'll glean the whole story, but the way stories were never meant to be told. Which I think is exactly how media should be presented. You know, everyone was like, "Ah, that character's freaking amazing! It's a big Spider-Man. That's the coolest thing I've ever fathomed.
It's Spider-Man with a mouth.
Holy crap! That's the coolest thing in the universe." So how about 3 parts instead of just 1? I also love how, if you count the Web of Spider-Man appearances and the 2 preambles to 300, they spent 4 issues just telling you that Venom was going to be in 1 issue of Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a lot of build-up for...
Yeah, but there were like little bits.
They were not whole issues. They were literally panels, like 1 panel per issue.
Yeah, but it was like multiple issues had some element of his revealing.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being just like a 1-issue villain.
That's
it's
it.
kind of weird.
Yeah, he beat him within an hour of meeting him.
But it was a double-sized issue.
Yes, that's true.
Or 1.5 times or
there
something.
There were more pages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
you could dedicate more page real estate and panels to Mary Jane's friends who helped them move. Or
Right.
Mary Jane taking her top off in front of Peter. Like there's
there's a
precious
lot of
real
that.
estate that are really important.
And it was the
what
300th
sells
issue,
comics.
so, you know, extra promotion for
That's
the
true.
event of the 300th issue. That
Yes.
kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
We're going to create a new villain. Maybe he'll stick around. Maybe he won't.
Right.
But you get him.
Well, no, he's sticking around. He didn't die at the end. They put him on the shelf for later at the backstory.
Like they always do, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah,
not
but-
trying to get rid of their villains after they introduce
No.
them. There's
It
always like,
depends on
maybe
if
this
you come
guy's
back.
stick.
Yeah, well, these aren't Batman movies here. So.
Or Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. They do that too.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of stopped doing it, but they do. They can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Can they?
Yeah.
So we need to establish that there is a supermax prison for supervillains in the Marvel universe, or at least there used to be, called the Vault. They kept it in the Colorado Rockies.
Yep.
I believe there is a super.
Yeah, there's a Supermax
prison.
there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's nice up there
So it's
because you get a
probably
view.
modeled after
That's right.
that.
Yeah, well,
Keeps the inmates calm.
they do have to deal with the altitude sickness.
Yeah, but you acclimate to that after like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it takes a couple weeks though.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm there, I almost die.
Yeah, it's because you're not living there for like months on end.
No,
Some people are better at adapting than others.
You know, the first time I went to Denver, I didn't notice it at all. Maybe a little bit. But the second time, I was woken in my sleep. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night.
Couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell's happening to me? I'm like, oh, yeah.
That was
You're
also a
dying.
cat sitting on your face.
Yeah. They used to keep a lot of Marvel's classic villains when they weren't being used in stories in Denver. I also love that most of those stories take place in New York, so that means that every Marvel villain that is sent to the Vault has to hop a plane back to New York. Like, you could just go in the other direction and attack San Diego and not have to deal with anybody for
but
hours.
Spider-Man's
But that's
not
not
there.
where Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man's not there.
He's
But
got to
like,
fight Spider-Man.
right, but Electro,
Or,
you don't care about Spider-Man. You care about making money using your electricity power.
Not going to California with all these hippies, all right?
Right, yeah.
I can't rob hippies. What am I going to get? Garbage?
I'm gonna get hacky sacks and bonds. No, that
Devil
sounds pretty
sticks?
cool. Devil sticks, maybe. Well, back then it was 1989. I don't know when the devil stick was originated. I don't care.
Bongo drums.
Bongo drums, yeah. And doobies. There is this young security guard named Hugh Taylor. Let's talk about Hugh for a while.
Don't name
Let's
him.
not.
Let's talk about how he got this job and how it's very early in his career, but he's looking forward to... Oh, Venom suffocated him with his costume. And he's dead. The idea is that Venom approximates a security guard's uniform and just looks like Venom escaped and killed a security guard, but also somehow the soundproof wall that you can see through, but is also, it's like hard light sound or some shit. It's a sonic shield that protects the outside from Venom, but Venom can't touch. Except, like, why doesn't I mean, I think the idea is that Eddie can't separate from the suit at all. So if he were to walk through it,
the suit would be left behind.
The suit would because they're connected.
Elastic rubber band him. To it.
And that's also a crucial component to the story, is that they cannot be separated. If you attack one, you hurt the other. You can't just have Venom go, oh, well, I'll ditch the suit and just go over there and then not have to worry about it. And then me and the suit will regroup later.
Before.
That happened later.
Yeah.
This is before, where it never happened and couldn't happen.
Well, it happened when the suit was on Peter, but this is a special
Well, and it only happened
bond.
because the suit didn't attach to Peter.
Right.
The suit wanted to attach to Peter, and I guess the suit also has, like, consensuality going on because he didn't, like, do it without Peter's consent. He did it the second time. He definitely... Okay, so, like, the suit, when Peter gets the suit, he doesn't know it's a living being. Right? And I think he doesn't want to know. And as I understand it, in further retcons, the suit blocked his mind from processing ideas that would make it obvious that the suit is alive.
Well, you gotta understand, when that suit was on that derelict planet, it had already been through plenty of hosts. It didn't want a relationship. It was just looking for a ride.
It's looking for a ride.
Oh, I'll just go someplace.
Yeah,
I'll just pretend to be a suit. I'm not gonna get attached to this one.
The suit wasn't counting on falling in love.
Exactly.
Wasn't looking for love, but,
New Hallmark movie.
That's usually when you find it. It's when you stop looking.
I love that explanation, where it's just like, it's normally not supposed to happen.
Yes.
That it gets, like, all obsessed like it did with Peter. And it just couldn't help itself.
It is that way. I mean, like, honestly, that's my headcanon for the suit, is that, like, the suit doesn't know about those human feelings.
Right.
And that we drive symbiotes nuts when they get on us, And I think the idea was, like, the Clintars, they're defenders of the galaxy, and they get on aliens and they protect them and stuff. Or at least that was one concept. But I like the idea that once they found us, we're just so self-obsessed and melodramatic and insane that we just drive those things nuts. Or it's so intoxicating. Like, our emotions are so intoxicating, they can't help themselves. It's like when a kid takes a week off from the Amish country and it just goes on a complete techno bender.
What is it, Rumspring?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. To all of our Amish viewers out there who have YouTube, you liars.
They may have left.
The ones on Rumspring, if that's the right word.
Let us know in the comments down below. Are you Amish? Are you taking a break, or did you just leave? Anyway.
Or are you like, no, I'm Amish, but I get internet on weekends.
You're omnoshtic.
I got it.
I'm open to the idea of being Amish.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, we're getting off
sounds like something I would say.
Yep.
Oh, great. Good to know it's infectious. So, anyway, the suit is like, I love Peter, blah. Oh, so yeah, the first time it gets on him, he doesn't know that it's alive, and it's only when Reed does all the tests. It even lets Reed do the tests, which I'm like, suit. Like, what are you doing? But it does the tests, and then
here's the thing. I'm gonna take my suit to get some tests.
Right.
If the suit freaks out and does something
then
before
it's
we get
alive.
the test done,
Then the game's up.
So it does, because Reed tells him it's alive, and Reed's like, my official diagnosis is take it off, and Peter doesn't take it off. He wills it to come off. That's how he comes to know it. And so when he tries to, it doesn't. And then it starts to constrict on him. And so he tries to like yank it off him, and it's not working. It's like, no! Oh no! My free ride! And then Reed gets the sonic gun and blasts it off of him, and then they just slap a glass jar over it, and that's all she wrote. Then when it escapes, it hides in his closet and pretends to be a normal Spider-Man costume. Then he reaches for it, and it jumps onto him, and then it tries to attach to him. And he's like swinging through the city, and he has to fight other villains that are just happening in the way, and ultimately gets to the Our Lady of Saints Church, and then uses the bells and gets off him. But like, the suit initially was like, well, he doesn't know. in order for this thing to be consecrated, I have to we have to bond.
Yeah.
But
I could bond with a normal human being, but with Spider-Man, he's super strong.
I don't know.
Or maybe his senses
just
defend it,
rejects
his
it,
healing ability.
Maybe he has to welcome it. And if he doesn't consent to the joining,
to the bonding,
it can be on him, but it can't be permanently stuck to him like it is to Eddie.
I don't know. I think the suit could. I think the idea is the suit is just no, I'm not gonna bond without you understanding what's going on here, because when it finds Brock, it asks Brock,
maybe it's I'm going to try something else. That didn't work with Peter.
Let me
be upfront with Brock.
Yes.
Hey,
I'm going to take you.
Do you
over.
want to enter a partnership?
Right. Well,
with me.
Do you want to be one entity? And Brock's totally. I got nothing going on.
Right.
And so it attaches. And
well, he was going to kill himself.
Exactly. Yeah. So, Brock's I already liquidated all my assets and I got rid of my apartment.
Right.
I didn't have plans for tomorrow.
It's this or nothing.
It's this or nothing. I guess I'll go with this. The Starborn powers and my revenge plot. I'm in.
If it doesn't work, I can always kill myself later.
Exactly.
Yeah, or the suit could do it.
Or
That's when the suit's no, I'm not letting you kill yourself.
Suit's what?
Oh, jeez, I made a big mistake.
Right, because the suit senses his hate, but also I assume it also sensed his malaise. But anyway, so Brock and the suit are one. They're bonded. That's why they say we and they. But also, when Brock is referring to himself separately from the suit, he can say I, but it's also selective. But it isn't inconsistent. It's just that you have to understand the context of when he's referring to himself and when they are referring to themselves. But let's not get into that right now. The point is, Brock murders innocent people and then says that it's part of his holy quest to kill Spider-Man, and so it's justified, just like asking permission to kill yourself in a church before doing it.
Yeah.
So Brock is just a terrible Christian and has no idea how the rules work, and
not at all. Yeah.
And also is just a selfish person who murders people indiscriminately. And I think that that's kind of another plot point that goes down the road where they're are you just a psycho?
Yeah. It seems with that first page where they're telling you the backstory of the guy, they're trying to have you not
sympathize
take
with him.
His side.
Yeah.
Because if he just killed a guy, he's just oh, what's one more? People die all the time in comics.
Yes.
So it's no, this man had a family and dreams and stuff.
Hugh Taylor.
You are not supposed to take Eddie's side.
Yeah.
I know you want to.
Right.
But it's bad.
I know he's cool.
Right.
We all love that. I did draw him super awesome looking. I get it. Yeah. It's dope, but evil.
He's not a hero, though, until he is, and we have to forgive all of the murder he's ever done. This kid, Hugh Taylor, he's going to come back. Not him, but his father is going to take revenge on Venom and be you murdered my son! And I'm hard to argue. Hard to demonize that guy.
You did.
Right, but the problem with Taylor is he gets revenge. He tries to get revenge on Eddie during his lethal protector phase. It's oh, you didn't get the memo.
I'm a good guy now.
I killed your son when I was a villain, but the public at large has determined that I am now an anti-hero. And so I get a pass, and you're a villain now.
Yeah, you can't. If you try to stop me, you're a bad guy.
Yes, and it's no!
Oh, that's bad.
It's pretty bad.
So Venom leaves, and while that's happening, Spider-Man fights Hydro Man, and no Hydro Man fight has ever looked better than Todd McFarlane drawing Hydro Man, and it's such a mundane, silly villain. Hydro Man is such a weird character, and there's a lot of elements to the weirdness of Hydro Man, just the fact that it's Sandman, but it's water. Okay, but then going, well, what if Sandman and Hydro Man merge into one guy called Mudman? Okay, fine.
Mudman?
Mudman.
But that's it's a drop in the bucket, no pun intended, to the history of Hydro Man. But the real prominence for Hydro Man is not even him joining a offshoot lame version of the Sinister Six called the Sinister Syndicate. It's when he appeared in the Spider-Man 94 cartoon show. Because for some reason, the people making that show were Hydro Man. We have access to Green Goblin, Venom, everybody, but Hydro Man is amazing. And so we are going to actually use more of our budget on a Hydro Man introduction episode than on any other episode outside of the pilot. And we're gonna throw away all of his origins and just make up this other thing. Hydro Man in the cartoon show, he's Mary Jane's ex-boyfriend. He's obsessive, and the episode is a very special tale about abuse. And yeah, it's weird and it's creepy. And Rob Paulson, voice of Yakko Warner, Raphael, and everybody else in the 90s, plays Hydro Man. And I think the idea was that he was supposed to be silly and dumb, but by the time whoever was working on that show got away with Hydro Man, he became like a cautionary tale about domestic abuse. And so you got like Yakko Warner yelling really crazy shit about, you know, how Mary Jane belongs to him and stuff. And I'm like,
it sounds like they wanted to do that story, and they're like, but who can we use for that? Because that's not a story. And it's like, who doesn't
matter?
Yeah, exactly. Give me a D-lister.
Yeah. Oh, Hydro Man.
Nobody will care.
Ooh, and that'll look cool too.
Yeah.
So really break the budget on how
also
good Hydro Man looks.
He's should be a serious threat.
Yeah, he can.
He can turn into water and like at will.
Right? Yeah.
How do you beat that?
What if he got half a brain cell and went into the ocean, and then just became Hydro Man?
Like, can he suck the water out of your body?
Can he control water?
Yeah, he should be able to.
Or is he water?
Both. I mean, we all are. But
right.
No,
right.
but yeah, he can control water the same way that Sandman can control sand.
Sandman controls sand?
Well, he adds sand to himself. So like Sandman can become as big as a skyscraper if he wants.
Which part of him?
Okay, so the way Sandman works, and they actually established that way later than Sandman's invention. But Sandman, you know how he looks like a guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's him morphing sand into his flesh, but that guy is dead. Like William Baker / Flint Marko doesn't exist anymore.
Like the body is dead.
The body is dead.
He's choosing to take on his visage.
He doesn't know that because he's too stupid. But it turns out there's like one grain of sand that is his soul. And that grain of sand is like the core sand that allows. So as long
as that grain of sand
is intact, then Sandman will always endure.
Okay.
And he can add as much sand as he chooses, or as little as he chooses, as long as that one grain is involved, in order to become as big or little a threat as he wants.
But if I grab Sandman and I put him into a kiln and turn him into glass,
which they've done,
that's going to destroy that grain of sand.
Or makes it part of the glass.
It becomes part of the glass, and then we don't. Okay, the glass plots happened before the grain plot, so. You know, originally he's just glass because Sandman is what? Like, they don't know. They didn't think about it. So they were just like, well, he's sand. Sand becomes glass. Wouldn't it be cool if we made a ray gun that turns him into glass? And then, wouldn't it be even cooler if we shatter him and then he reconstitutes as shards of broken glass? And
how do you fight that?
That's scary as shit. And he cuts the shit out of Dr. Octopus out of it. But like, I don't know. We're getting off topic.
Yeah, but the same idea. Maybe there's one molecule of water.
There's one hydrogen molecule that is a Hydro Man. I don't know. They don't really get into it. We don't really see Maury very often.
Okay, well then he should be able to suck the water out of your body.
I agree. No, he should be
horrific.
The most powerful being in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
Or at least the most
He should be able to pull moisture out of the air.
Right, and get big.
Just get really big.
Or disappear into the air. Like, he should be invisible. Yeah. He could do anything. He chooses to become a dude wearing a t-shirt that occasionally turns his arms into water.
Right. And punches Spider-Man in the face.
To steal people's money.
He used to be Mary Jane's boyfriend.
Well, in the cartoon show. Yeah. In the comic books, he has nothing to do with anybody.
Oh, thank God.
In the Rogues.
Good.
He's just Hydro Man.
He's just Hydro Man.
Good. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
So he is trying to steal, like, paychecks. Like, he's trying to steal workers' money. And
they work hard for that, man.
That's right.
You don't get that.
Well, Spider-Man tries to explain to him, like,
go rob a bank.
They get paid by check.
Yeah, there's nothing to take.
He's like, it isn't Dodge City in the 1800s anymore.
Yeah, we're not paying you with gold dust.
Right. What are you talking about? And so that was stupid, and you're stupid, and that's it. And then they fight, and he tries to lure Sandman into throwing himself at an electrical conduit. But Sandman goes around it, and so Spider-Man takes the door to the conduit and throws it through Sandman. Of course, he turns himself into water, so it passes through him. Unfortunately for Sandman, it hits the cement bags behind him. I rarely say Hydro Man. Unfortunately for Hydro Man, that door comes in contact with a whole bunch of cement bags, and so the cement mixes with him, and he starts to become Cement Man. But he doesn't know how to control cement, so he's just turning into a statue, and so he needs to dilute this cement with more water. In order to do that, he just has to go down a drain pipe, and he disappears. And Spider-Man's like, that's done. that adventure is over. I can't connect with him he's part of the drainage system now.
Right.
I'll never find
I guess
him.
he got away.
Yeah, he got away.
The Hydro Man got away.
And we'll never see Hydro Man again in this story.
But he also didn't get to steal those checks.
Right. Well, he didn't even know that those checks went to their houses. It was like mailed to them. There's no money here. So anyway, that's that. So he's like, all right, well, I got a couple of pictures, because obviously one of the things that Spider-Man does is he takes pictures of the Bugle. He sticks a camera, a single reflex camera with a auto switch in front of it into a nearby corner of an area that he's gonna fight a villain in, and then collects the camera later, and then develops the film, and then one out of every 30 pictures.
Where at the beginning of the fight, he's like, hang on a second.
He usually does it before the fight. He's like, oh,
he tries
this is
to
a good
plan
place.
to have the fight in an area where he set up cameras.
So you have to have cameras set up in places.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, I have to drag my villains always to these areas that have good lighting and good angles.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what that is because he's such a lazy bastard. But the thing is, what's sad is Spider-Man hasn't been a photographer for the Bugle in decades now. But now it's never been easier for him to do that.
I know. He'd be able to have a little thing. Oh my god.
That could follow him around while he's fighting.
Yeah, remote control, so that he's not just taking random pictures. They can actually pose.
He can really step up his game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but someone would hack into it.
Yeah, well, that's a story.
That would be a story. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's like, man, I need these pictures too, because I'm broke. Because in the last story, 13 issues ago, my wife and I got a brand new, super expensive apartment. Unfortunately, there's an obsessive rich guy named Jonathan Caesar who also lives there, and he's a huge Secret Hospital fan. This is the soap opera she works on, and so he becomes obsessive with her, and he tries to get with her, and she rebuffs him, so then he uses his clout and his connections to get Peter and Mary Jane evicted from Bedford Towers, so they gotta move in with Aunt May, hat in hand, which of course Aunt May is fine with because she loves those two and she wants to see them on a regular basis. But so that's the situation they're in. And then there's a whole bunch of stories about that, and we've covered them actually on the show. Jonathan, it doesn't end well for Jonathan Caesar, let's put it that way. So Spider-Man is like, we need this money more than ever because I can't not have sex with Mary Jane. And I feel weird having sex with Mary Jane in the bedroom I grew up in, feet away from Aunt May.
Right, we gotta get out of there.
Any other old people that live in my house.
I tell her to turn her hearing aids down.
Just Aunt May, don't be turning those on between 6 and 8. That's all I'll say.
AM or PM? Both.
Any of it. Oh, but don't forget Aunt May's also getting some loving from Nathan Lebensky.
Right.
I guess.
Great.
I know. Hot old sex. This is what you're getting when you're playing Spider-Man. It's awesome. But anyway, so he's like, we gotta get out of here. Also, it's tough, me coming and going, no pun intended, as Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, May doesn't know he's Spider-Man.
No, and I gotta friggin' commute from Queens to Manhattan to be Spider-Man.
Jeez.
What a pain in the ass. I haven't done that.
Queens doesn't need Spider-Man?
It's just like, that's not where all the action is. Also, I don't work in Queens. I work for the Bugle.
Well, that's true. That's also a problem.
And also, Mary Jane's also not working in Queens. She's trying to get jobs. So anyway, that's what's happening. Also, Mary Jane has a cute cousin who has an eating disorder. They haven't established the eating disorder yet, but she has a really big crush on Peter.
Oh yeah, what's her name?
Awkward.
Christy.
But Peter's married.
Yes. And it's weird.
That's weird.
And it makes Peter uncomfortable, and I don't know why. It would. I mean, I understand why he's uncomfortable, but I don't know why it's a plot point. Like, Peter just goes, it's cute she has a crush on me, but obviously it's not going to work. She's a teenage girl. I'm married. But anyway, it's weird. Yeah. Also, like, what are you doing here, Chrissy? Also, like, if I'm reading Amazing Spider-Man, like, where'd you even come from?
Right.
Like, what is this?
You know, Cousin Chrissy, she's visiting.
Yeah. And then they totally...
It's like Skipper for Barbie. This is Cousin Chrissy.
And also, they totally happy days her at some point, where she's like, I'll see you tomorrow.
And then she's just gone.
She's gone. 30 years she's been gone.
There's a story.
Yeah. Where's Chrissy?
What happened to Chrissy?
And no one cared. Like, nobody asked. They were like, the last thing they did with Chrissy was they said she was bulimic. They hoped they fixed it. And then she disappeared forever.
That's like, what's his name? What's his name in Calvin and Hobbes? He was like
Uncle Max.
Uncle Max.
Yes.
He showed up for like
for an arc.
Yeah, and then it's like, nah,
Yep.
no more
And then if you
Max.
read the 10th anniversary, Bill Watterson provides some great context. It was just weird. He didn't bring in anything interesting in Calvin. Also, it was awkward having him not refer to Mom and Dad by their names.
Yep.
Max is gone, is the quote, as I recall.
Yeah. Yep.
but
yeah, sometimes the ideas are just bad ideas,
Richie
and
Cunningham's
you throw them away.
freaking older brother, who at the end of the first season goes upstairs and then he's never referred to ever again.
Yep.
Bye, Chrissy. So anyway, she's here. That's it. She's here for one sequence. She's helping Aunt May bake. Peter gives Aunt May a kiss. Chrissy goes, "Don't I get a kiss?" And Peter comes up with the lamest excuse I've ever heard, which I've never heard because it's in a comic book. He says, "I ran out. I'll have to go out and pick up a fresh supply." And then goes, "I don't know why Chrissy bothers me so much. Like, I don't know why it's so awkward for me." And I'm like, I understand it's awkward, but yeah, I don't know why it's so awkward for you. She's a child.
Yeah.
Just ignore it.
Yeah, just tell her
Don't tell her anything.
just
Just
be
wait
like,
for her to meet
no,
somebody
you don't.
else. Or just
No, you
ruffle
don't
her
get
hair
a
or
kiss.
something.
Yeah, just go no.
Oh, you.
Yeah, just
Bye.
friend zone her into the Stone Age.
That's what a normal person would do.
Anyone should do. You don't bring attention to it, because then she's gonna be so uncomfortable. She's gonna be like, "Whoa, where's this coming from?"
He is the creep.
The Chrissy stuff, maybe that's why she disappeared.
You know what's
anyway,
creepy? It's the fact that his comic's been going on for 40 years. He still looks like he's 22.
That's because he is 22. Because Franklin Richardson won his favorite superhero to age.
Oh, right.
Because everything's
perfect
insane
sense.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, while Peter's
Anyway, Venom.
so Venom is still in freaking Colorado. And he does a move I've never seen him do before or since. He sneaks into the control room for the security team, and he finds the head security guy, and he punctures his lip with his claw, and then pours his symbiote into his system. It says, "If you don't want to choke to death on me, you will turn off the security system and let me leave." And you see, symbiote pouring out of his nose. And I'm like, so why does the old man get to live? But
Right.
this poor boy.
But Hugh.
Poor Hugh has to die. And he gets a little kiss on the forehead. Get out of here with your selective morality, Venom.
You see, this is why. Because this old security guard is smart enough, he's wise enough in his years to be like, I'm not gonna die for this. I'm letting it go.
This kid-
But Hugh is fresh eyes.
It's I wouldn't be able to. He's too idealistic.
Yes,
I
he's
wouldn't be
like,
able
no,
to.
I'm gonna stop this guy. It's just gonna end worse for you.
Employee
man.
of the month, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just gonna kill you right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Rather than rending you limb from limb.
Venom is extremely
Suffocate.
perceptive, and
Yeah.
he understood that this old man would be amenable to
Yes.
negotiating and giving him what he wants.
Negotiating.
Yeah, whereas, you're right. The kid, too idealistic. He's like, I'm just going to have to kill him.
Yeah.
I see where this is going, and I'm just going to jump right
Not
to
only that,
cut to
this
the
guy
chase.
has something to offer. Hugh didn't.
That's
true, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, Hugh opened the door. He turned off the, the sonic screen.
because
to check on the guy. He's
punch.
gullible.
Just-
He deserves to
He's
die.
a child. Punch him in the head. That's all you have to
He
do.
let Venom out. He should die.
Does he have a name?
No. He's the guard.
You know
Hugh
what?
Taylor's dead. The guard survives. No name.
This guy survives, but he has to live with the PTSD
Oh.
of having Venom,
Did you read this?
filling his body.
The guard will be found unconscious. He'll be transferred and granted early retirement, but he will never, ever sleep soundly again.
Right. So maybe that's worse.
What?
It's a lifetime of torture.
Well, I'll take it. Over death.
Yeah, over death. I get that.
Those are both on the table! Anyway, Spider-Man's swinging around, just being awesome, because Todd's drawing him. And so, what arouses Spider-Man's suspicions while he's swinging around Manhattan is an old man in a wheelchair screaming at an ATM. It's Nathan Lubensky. He's trying to get money out of the ATM, and the ATM won't let him have the money he needs. He needs $5,000. And one of the dudes next to him is like, hey, they don't issue thousands of
There's a
dollars.
transaction limit, man.
Yeah, there's a transaction limit.
You
It's
gotta go to a
$500.
bank.
Yeah, you have to go in the bank.
If you have the money in your bank account, there should be no
There should
problem
be no
with
problem,
that.
but,
Just go
stop
do that.
Screaming. Calm down.
You're making everyone nervous.
Yes. And he's like, no, but I need more. So Spider-Man quickly switches into his Peter Parker outfit and then goes, hey, Nathan, what's up? And Nathan's like, none of your business. And Peter stops the wheelchair, and he goes, so this is how you get your kicks when you're not around Aunt May, is you bully cripples. And Peter's like, that's a pretty fucked up thing to say, asshole.
Awesome. That is how you respond.
Yeah.
That's messed up that you said that.
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
Yep.
But it's not nearly as bad as when you steal my aunt's bank card and try to take money out of her account.
Oh, it's
and
her
steal her social
bank
security
card?
money.
Oh.
That's exactly. Because I think the idea was earlier in the story they mentioned that like it's missing.
Oh boy.
And he's like,
So that's why he went to the ATM.
Yeah. So
Got
Right.
it.
Is he have a gambling debt?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So Nathan's like, all right, I'll level with you. I'm in over my head. I was gonna put the money back when I got it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
sure.
pay it back.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna pay it back.
Absolutely. So Peter's like, give me the card. I will not tell Aunt May. But, that's it. Just
the end.
Give me the card.
Don't do this again.
And don't do this again. Don't let me catch you doing that shit again. So he takes the card and he leaves, and he takes the money he got from selling photos for the Bugle, and he's like, I gotta put it back in the bank before Aunt May checks the balance again. Money problems for Peter. Easy come, easy go. And I'm like, yeah, that's a Peter Parker problem.
That is.
The guy that Aunt May is trying to settle down with is stealing her money behind her back because he has gambling debts from trying to give her a better life. He wants to, really, it's because he's a compulsive gambler.
Yeah.
But he's justifying it to himself that he's like trying to
Yeah.
set up Aunt May.
Peter should not cover for him.
Absolutely not.
That is enabling this to get worse.
But at the same time, he's like, well, it's for Aunt May's benefit.
Well, and also,
I don't want to break her heart.
but you're lying to her.
But I'm always lying to her.
I've lied to her from the
true.
beginning.
I've been lying
It's
to her
no
since
worse
I was
than any
15
other
years
lie I've
old,
ever told, yeah.
Well, and I'm always doing it for moral reasons. I'm not just a compulsive liar. I am, but like,
Right.
I
You're trying to
justify it to
protect,
myself.
but this one's particularly bad because he's trying to protect her, but he's setting her up for a worse fall.
Absolutely.
Because this guy's not just going to get better.
No. But Peter doesn't
Like, what is your
understand
plan for dealing with the ongoing problem, Peter?
This guy.
He's gonna die.
This guy's
Soon.
girlfriend was murdered by a goblin, and he's never been to therapy. This guy does not have just workable skills
Well, it's the
necessary to deal with
80s
the traumas
and the
of...
90s, so
That's
that's,
true.
why he didn't go to
it's
therapy.
80, it's 88, 89. I'll give him a pass.
Yeah.
But he still hasn't.
Right.
What if his quips
Yeah.
were compulsive lying?
Yeah, well, they are because they are compulsively covering for his nervousness. Like,
Yeah, he's not as confident
he
as
is
he-
posturing
yeah.
as a braggart and having, confidence. But in reality, he's just nervous and he's never been in a fight before.
Yeah, like, I always have to say something.
Yeah.
And I can't say the truth.
Well, what's the truth? I'm Peter Parker and I work with the Daily Bugle.
I'm
My Aunt
terrified.
May- yeah, and this is
I don't
so
want-
scary!
And I don't want to die.
I really don't want to die. Please don't kill me. I wish I weren't doing this. Yeah, that'd be weird.
Oh, depressing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So Peter goes home. He bumps into Mary Jane and Chrissy and Aunt May, and they're playing Monopoly, which will end this family. If they're not careful, they got to be careful with this.
Everyone's got to play once or twice to learn that is a dead game.
Yeah, you play it once or twice, so you know never to play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, nope. I remember. Okay, what's your Monopoly horror story? Everybody's got one. Mine was I was at a sleepover with two kids I don't normally do sleepovers with in middle school, and these two kids were some of the most popular kids in my class.
Oh.
Right?
How'd you get an invite to that sleepover?
It was a small class. So we're in the basement playing Monopoly, and it's just the three of us, and I've never played Monopoly before in my life.
Oh, boy.
So I'm just doing what I can.
So yeah, whatever.
Maybe I played with my parents at one point or another, but so we're playing Monopoly, and I land on a situation. I don't even really remember the rules very well, but like I land in a situation
on
where
Monopoly, probably.
I could extort money from one of my friends.
Oh.
And the other, but I don't know to do that. And so the other friend advises me to extort the other one. And so I'm like, well, I don't need to do that. And the other one is mad that he's getting involved and helping me out.
Right. It's
So
like, hey, don't help him screw me over.
So he starts losing it, and then he starts losing. And then when I say losing it, I mean like in the blink of an eye. Like they're going like, hey, you should do this. Hey, you don't do that. Boom! The table is, we're on the floor. We're on the floor.
Right, the board is smashed.
The board is smashed, and our host is crying.
Of course, because you're like 6 or something.
We're like too old. I was like, I thought we were too old for this.
Right.
I was like, what is happening? And so
that game is evil. That's what's happening.
It's an evil game. It is.
It infected their souls.
Every board is possessed by a demon.
It's capitalism incarnate.
Yeah. It's just ratcheted up. It's capitalism times 1,000.
Yeah, if there were no governmental restrictions on practices, business practices, you can just do whatever you want.
So then the other kid, he starts crying too, and then the host goes to his mom and then basically demands that his mom kick him out, and so the parents have to come and get him. It's like 11 at night, by the way, and I was just like, this is an evil game.
What a friggin' shit show.
What a shit show. I was like, maybe we should all go home. Like,
why don't we just play Mortal Kombat?
Right. I was here to watch scrambled porn. And read your trade paperback of the Phoenix Saga.
I didn't even want to play Monopoly.
I didn't want to play Monopoly. It wasn't my idea. What a nightmare. Yeah. So
I don't have that story. I have just
intense.
a vague recollection of many conflicts over Monopoly.
Yes.
And I liked Monopoly anyway, and I don't know why.
It's fun.
I like
in the conceit of it being a game.
It reminds me of an RPG in that you accumulate more and more stuff and more power when you're winning.
Right.
It's like, I get to add another house, so I pay money, I pay something out here, and I get more power. And it just gets better and better and better.
If you're good at it and if you win, yes.
Right. And then eventually you get way OP,
right.
And then the other person doesn't even have a chance.
And
when that happens, it's very satisfying.
That's fair.
That only happens 1 in 4 times or whatever, but...
Yeah. If you were to play more than 4 times, which of course no one ever does because the game is always...
I've probably played...
kicked off the board.
half a dozen times total in my life.
Yeah. I've definitely played it 3 or 4 times because I did play it again in high school and found out just how fucking competitive all my friends are and how they pretended not to be until this awful evil game came into play. And I'm like, no, not you too, not again. Immediately, I remember one of them started losing it. I'm like, that's it. The game's over.
We're done.
I don't want to find out what you look like when you are crying.
It's just boring.
It's boring. It is boring. Yeah, it's not
a boring game.
Let's play Chutes and Ladders. So before the Parkers' lives can be destroyed, Peter he looks sad. Mary Jane keys into it, and so the two of them leave to talk. Chrissy's excited about this. She's like, oh man, the juicy stuff is happening. And Aunt May immediately recognizes...
Maybe they'll get a divorce.
Yeah.
No, it's want to talk, they're going to bang.
It's either one. I don't know what Chrissy's motivations are.
Right.
I
She's just interested in what the adults are doing.
Yeah, I promise. I've read 2 issues that feature Chrissy. This and When She Disappeared, because I had to know what happens to Chrissy. And it's not like she disappears under mysterious circumstances. They just stop writing about her.
Yeah.
But anyway, Aunt May recognizes that these two are either going to fight or fuck. And so she's like, let's get some cocoa, dear, and just takes her away. And so anyway, Peter is like, I gotta tell somebody about Nathan, maybe get some better information about what to do about him. So he spills the beans to Aunt May. Meanwhile, Nathan is sneaking around in the kitchen because, of course, Aunt May and Chrissy just go in the other room, and Nathan's screwing around in there. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, nothing. And she's like, oh, you're sneaking a snack before dinner. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
bye.
Yep, sneaking a snack.
And she recognizes that, he left some flour behind. And it's like, no, he's not,
flour?
He's not snorting the white powder.
No?
It's flour.
He's secretly making cakes.
Right. But what Aunt May says is he doesn't even like to boil water for tea. Well,
what's he doing baking?
What's he baking for? Also, that's my shit.
Is he gonna make wheat cakes? Is he supplanting me?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll kill this son of a bitch.
Yeah, just like Uncle Ben.
He was starting to become the favorite. I can't have that.
Yeah, he got too big. It
was a setup.
Yeah. But
him and his rice.
Then we get to, we gotta check in with freaking Chrissy, though. There's something fishy about that guy. Thanks, Chrissy. Love the commentary.
It's so useful.
Can't wait to see you again.
Why are you here again?
What are you doing here?
Chrissy just hates old people.
Whose are you?
She just accepts Aunt May for who she is because she bakes with her.
I mean, sure. So Peter dresses as Spider-Man and just follows Nathan. Nathan goes...
Oh my god, we're still doing this fucking Nathan thing.
Sorry.
I thought they were going to talk about it.
Yeah, no. No, that happens off screen.
Peter and Mary Jane are just like, hey, I heard the door. I gotta go.
Yeah, that it has to be, right?
Yep.
So Nathan's meeting with the bookies, and they're like, hey, well, you owe us $5,000. And he's like, oh, I got held up.
Yep, I need more time.
I need more
whatever.
time. And they're like, all right, yeah, well, the last time you owed us money, you ended up in traction. So now you're going to need a hearse. We're going to kill you. And Nathan pulls out the butcher's knife he took from the kitchen, and he starts just stabbing people.
What?
Nice.
And then pulls out a can of Raid and sprays one dude in the face, because there's like 3 dudes.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, and now I have a gun, so it's over. And then Nathan throws that choice bag of flour at him.
Oh.
And
It's
then,
a weapon.
Is he freaking MacGyver?
right? He's just, yeah, he's a resourceful guy. You know, he probably fought in WW2. So then Spider-Man
That's not
shows
true.
up.
He would have used a flamethrower with that raid.
Yeah, that's true. So Spider-Man shows up. He beats up all of them. Calls them. You know, there's 3 of them. He makes a Three
There's a
Stooges
crowd.
joke.
Oh, Three Stooges. Oh, okay.
And then he leaves. And then Peter shows up around the other corner. And they're like, all right, well, Spider-Man may have beaten us up, but like we'll get out, and then we're gonna kill you, Lebensky. And then Peter shows up, and he's like, no, you won't. Because I took your photos. Hi, I'm Peter Parker, and you can threaten my family in the future, but that's not going to happen for some reason. And so if you don't want me to give these photos to the authorities, then you will leave Lebensky and me alone forever. And they do.
Photos?
Wow.
Photos prove nothing.
Right.
Yeah, photos of what?
Of Spider-Man kicking your ass.
Yeah, right? Like,
Oh, of them attacking a senior citizen.
oh, the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But doesn't he attack them with a knife?
Yeah, but I left those photos out.
Yeah, but then they should pointed a gun in his face.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
even, okay, let's say you got 3 goons. Then they're being stabbed by an old man with a wheelchair.
Right.
It still looks suspicious. You're going to ask questions.
Hey, maybe he was robbing us. He's got a gambling problem.
That's true.
Yeah, we were like, hey, buddy, you need any help? He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need
and then
a hand.
he pulls the
Yeah.
knife, and then he tries to kill us to mug
Right.
us.
Yeah,
To take our wallets. That's how desperate he is.
that's how desperate he is. Yeah, he's just
And it's-
crazy.
I feel
3
bad
versus
for
2.
him.
Right. So anyway, Peter takes Nathan back, and he's just like, Nathan's like, thank you so much. And Peter's like, that's great. Listen, you need to stop gambling.
Right.
Like, it's
that's
over.
We're done with
This has to be the rock bottom for you, right? Like, you're throwing bags of flour.
What's that even gonna do?
Like, what if Spider-Man wasn't there?
Yeah, you'd
you
be
would have
dead.
been dead. And my Aunt May would have been almost twice a widow at this point.
How great would Nathan be right now if he just turned and was like, but Spider-Man's always around. Isn't he, Peter?
And I need $4,500. Yeah, no, so that Nathan essentially acquiesces. He's like, you know what, you're right. For May, I will quit. And then we check on Nathan the next morning, and he goes to the local bodega, and he gets like, the paper, and then he breaks down and goes, and a dozen lottery tickets. And he's just sadly, mournfully, I can't change who I am in less than 12 hours.
Right.
Look, and no one's asking you to change in 12 hours.
No, but like, he's never going to stop.
But you gotta start somewhere.
He's never going to stop, and it will lead to his death. But for now, it's just kind of, you're like, okay, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
that's who Nathan is.
That's kind of real.
Meanwhile, Eddie Brock gets picked up by a family and hitchhikes
Uh-oh.
across the country to get to New York.
Nope, that's a bad idea, family.
I know. And
He's like angrily sweating in the back.
yeah, there is actually a backup to other Spider-Man stories that tells you the adventure that he goes on to get from the vault to New York that features his family, and I'm like, who cares?
How many people does he kill doing that?
At least 10. No, because there's a whole like hijacking story. They're not going to get into it. Let's just say that for now, Brock just thumbs it across New York. But there's a moment where like they're talking about him sleeping in caves, and the dad is like, "Oh, are there snakes? I'd be terrified of all the snakes." And he says, "No, we only hate spiders." And they're like, "How many people you got in there, buddy?" So Venom is just kind of hanging out in the sewers, and there's also when he shakes down the security guard, he
He
says
thought of stealing his car?
what? No. That's weird. He should have. Yeah.
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 I'm trying to remember if he talks about
He's
the
just
eyes.
stolen anyone's car.
Yeah. No. Okay.
That's when we've learned that Eddie Brock lived in New York his entire life, never learned how to drive.
that's true.
And so he's just
probably
like, I don't know how.
Right.
Suit, you know how? No.
No, I've literally never been on a human being outside of Peter Parker, who's never driven. So Venom's in the sewers, and he's just looking for a location. He knows from his globe contacts that there's like a subterranean bunker that was set up by a bunch of wealthy elite that was forgotten about and off the books. It's where he's going to set up his lair.
Okay.
And he bumps into a homeless person, and he basically is like, "Don't tell anybody I'm down here, or I'll kill you." And I'm like, again, Hugh Taylor just gets it. This homeless guy, no. But he shows...
Sal, he's already down on his luck.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not gonna kill him with Ben.
But he does demonstrate how he's going to kill him by suffocating a rat with his webbing.
Oh.
And he's like, see how the rat struggles and then eventually succumbs? I have more webbing, lots more. And
you got a suit too that you suffocated people with.
Yeah, but now I got the webbing. And the bum is like, yeah, I won't tell anybody. He goes, and he looks in his face and he goes, your eyes don't lie. And that's a whole element that he brings up. He does it at least 2 or 3 other times in the story where he looks into their faces and determines whether their eyes lie or not. and he's really concerned about that. It never comes up after this. The whole eyes don't lie or they lie thing doesn't come up ever again.
Right.
Except for in this story arc.
Just a thing they were trying out.
They were trying it out. Like, yeah, he's got webbing. He's suffocating people with his body.
He thinks he can discern if people are lying or not.
Yeah. And so he does that to this.
Well, this is also like establishing his powers. Like, he has webbing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we need to we need to firmly reestablish. Because we're also going to get a scene where he stands in a room alone and explains who he is, where he came from, why he's doing what he's doing.
Could be someone's first comic.
That's so true. So he goes into this bunker. Of course, there's a place to work out, and he starts like working out. Meanwhile, at this point, the Bugle is not accepting photos of Spider-Man from anybody other than Peter Parker's rival Katzenberg, because I think there's like some suspicion that, why does Peter get these good Spider-Man shots? Like, I want to see what Katzenberg can do. Mm-hmm.
Why does Peter have a monopoly on Spider-Man? That's not fair. So, but how is anyone else supposed to intentionally get pictures of Spider-Man? It's not possible.
I know, yeah. Well, so Katzenberg just I guess tracks his whereabouts and follows him. That's actually how some people get their photos outside of Spider-Man.
But Katzenberg actually sets places on fire and waits for Spider-Man to show
that's what you'd have to do.
It's always
because
the fire department.
Yeah. It's not like his movements are predictable. No. He's going to where there's problems to solve.
Right, but
which is random.
But he does come from one central location. Like, there's one place, and you can track.
Yeah, I guess he could say this is the radius.
This is his arc.
Yeah, this is his web zone.
So Peter notices that there's a dude who's chased by a cop into a junkyard. He's like, this is low stakes enough. The cop will be fine. I'll just take some pictures. But then the assailant has a weapon and the element of surprise in the cop. So then Pete drops a whole bunch of junk on that guy, and the cop's like, wow, thanks a lot for saving me, Spider-Man. Hey, what can I do for you? And Spider-Man's like, forget I was ever here, and then leaves. Like, if there's, this is just a human interest story. The cop saves guy. Cop
Good job saving
guy.
that guy.
Yeah.
Or stopping that guy.
Yeah. Cop stops guy from bad stuff. Spider-Man not involved.
But you was involved.
But you were involved.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to hide?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty suspicious. Just throw it away. So Pete goes to the Bugle, and he's like, I need money. I gotta get these photos. It's like, we gotta manipulate the news in order to get this shit going. So he goes in there and he bumps into Katzenberg and what a douche he is. He bumps into Glory Grant, who's super fun. She's not to be confused with Betty Brant. This is Glory Grant. Glory Grant also works at the Bugle, and she also replaced Betty Brant as Jonah's assistant, but just completely different character.
Why doesn't Peter ever go to work for a different paper?
He does, inevitably. At some point. There's a window of time where he does.
Because right now he's losing the Spider-Man gig, so what's he supposed to do?
I know,
I'll just take it somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're an independent contractor. You're not hired exclusively by the Bugle.
Exactly. I mean, Robbie likes him, and he's kind of in charge. So.
Right.
Anyway, so Pete...
Well, Robbie ain't doing shit for him right now.
Right.
Too bad Robbie ain't in charge no more.
Yeah. So then, for no reason, Peter's like, oh man, Glory Grant's new boyfriend is here, and he gives me the willies, and why does he set off my spider sense? And the editor's like, maybe because he's a werewolf?
That'll do it.
What? Read Spectacular Spider-Man for more! And I'm like, no.
I will not.
I will not. And I never did, and I have no idea what that's all about.
He's a werewolf.
Yes.
Is it nighttime?
No, he's a guy right now.
Yeah.
But when he's not a guy, he's a werewolf.
Well, technically, he's always a werewolf.
Well, that's true, and
werewolf
that's why he's setting off my spider sense.
Category,
because he's a werewolf.
Can he change at will?
I don't know. Who cares?
Is it going to be a full moon tonight?
No, he's just, being a werewolf.
He's bad news
sets
bear.
off the
Okay,
spider sense.
so like spider sense. Oh, that guy doesn't tip well.
No, yeah, well, there's degrees between crummy tipper and werewolf and lycanthrope.
That guy could be a saint 29 days out of the month.
If you're a werewolf and you're eating children and rampaging villages, it outweighs whatever philanthropy you're doing, werewolf.
I feel like if you ever murdered more than one person, you should be setting off.
Whoa,
spider sense.
who's saying he murdered somebody? He's just a werewolf.
He's a werewolf.
He's a werewolf.
It would be hard to not have ever murdered someone.
Yes. Yes.
Unless he was just turned.
Right.
But I'm guessing he
Or
wasn't.
if he was a man-wolf. Because it's totally different. Man-wolves are transformed by moon rocks. Werewolves are creatures of myth and legend. Anyway, so Black Cat goes to Bedford Towers, where Peter does not live anymore. And she finds that his apartment's empty, and she's like, shit, I just got back from Europe. I need some loving from my boyfriend, Peter. And
Who doesn't know we broke up or are still together?
yeah, well, he doesn't know we're still together. After I freaked out and went to Europe, I just kind of put him on pause and got in touch with myself. And when I got back, he moved or something. What
Now
a
I
jerk
want
off.
him to get in touch with me.
Yeah, that's right. So she's, skulking around the apartment when she finds Venom.
Venom's
Did she
in his
say hi,
apartment?
Peter?
Yeah, because Venom's looking for him too, because now he's in New York.
Oh.
And last time he looked, he was living in
And
that nice
they
apartment.
just happened to go to Peter's old apartment at the same time?
Yeah, because I want to see Black Cat and Venom fight.
Yeah. It's a little convenient,
So
but
Black
okay.
Cat sees him and she's like, oh, hey, Spider, wait. That's not Spider-Man.
Why do you have a big smile on your
He's
face?
big and scary and looks like a monster.
Yeah.
And he's like, Parker fled his lair, but you know who he is, so you must know where he is. Tell me. And she's like, nope, and then kicks him in the face and then tries to escape. He webs her, and then she grabs onto a chandelier and she cuts it and it lands on him. That annoys him so much that he pulls her foot with some webbing and then shoves her face into a wall, breaking her nose.
Oh my god.
It's a really brutal fight.
Yeah.
Like Venom
Yikes.
trumps Black Cat in the span of 2 panels. The image of him like looming over her, holding her hair, keeping her in place, and being like, "Tell me where he is while you still have a face," is embedded in my mind. And she's just like, "I don't know. I was looking for him myself." And he goes, "Yes, your eyes don't lie." And I'm like, "Oh, that's right, the eye thing."
Yeah, it's just a way for them to explain why he accepts the person's cancer
Confession.
and doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
versus
continue
being like-
Since he
torturing
also kills innocent children.
Oh, that does make sense. You were looking for him here and I was looking for him here.
them. Well, also, yeah, it's just logical.
You knew where he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here.
You wouldn't be here.
Right.
Okay, fair enough. His wife didn't know where he was either, so...
That's not that intimidating. The eyes don't lie.
So then he leaves, and she's like, wife?
She has to find out from Venom.
She's damaged, wounded. She should be thinking of doctors, but her shaken mind focuses instead on that single startling word. Wife?
Wow.
Yeah, this is how she finds out.
Black Cat's worst day.
It's a pretty rough day.
And here she just got everything back together. She's coming home from
She's
Europe.
probably jet lagged. That's why she's not at her best. But yeah,
Rough.
rough indeed.
This is how you know Venom plays for keeps.
Well, except he doesn't because he doesn't kill her. But
yeah, that's true. But he doesn't mess around.
right?
He beats the crap out of her violently.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mary Jane stops by the apartment as well
What?
to say goodbye to the doorman.
Oh.
You were a good guy. You helped us out. Thanks a lot.
Haven't you not been in that apartment for like a while?
Yeah. At least a couple of issues, if not 12. So,
Yeah, but like maybe she's hoping to swing by and be like, "Thank you, I appreciate all the work you did." Oh, that guy left, and maybe you could get back in.
right.
Oh, maybe.
She's checking on leads.
Well, they can't afford it anymore.
Well, wait, is this their old apartment or
This
their?
is like Bedford Towers apartment.
I know that he was trying to get her blacklisted from other things. Is she no longer on Secret Hospital?
The secret hospital thing is nebulous at best. So she says goodbye to the doorman, and when she looks up, she sees Venom, and she's like, "Nah." So then she sulks in her room. Peter shows up, and she tells him Venom's back. So then
This is how Peter finds out. that
Yes.
Venom's back.
So Peter calls the vault as Spider-Man. He puts a sock over the receiver because Spider-Man sounds like Peter Parker
with sock on his
cloth
face.
over his face,
Yeah.
which is a completely different voice. And he's like, hey, look, no, I'm telling you I'm Spider-Man, and I need to know why I didn't read in the papers about Venom escaping from your supposed highfalutin security place.
We don't want to create mass panic.
That's what they say.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, and he's like, shit, and he hangs up.
Well, my wife had to find out from
From a
seeing
stranger.
him,
Yeah, from
and
seeing him in action.
Spider-Man's married?
And he called from this number?
my metaphorical wife. It's not a real person.
I say
It's
wife
just-
when I mean loved ones, okay?
I just wanted you
The
to
city is
take
my
it more
wife.
seriously.
Yeah. So he's swinging around, and eventually he he leaves his clothing bundle. Oh, that's right. There's also a subplot where he needs to get change of address forms.
Oh my god.
He has we've moved announcements and to all of his loved ones, because of course they all came to the Bedford Towers move. Now they need to know they're living in Forest Hills. So anyway, he has those. He picked them up from the printers recently, and he leaves that with his web bundle that keeps his clothes in there, and he webs it to a wall. And an old.
And I have money troubles. I can't afford to lose those.
He does say that. And so he leaves it at a meat packing plant.
Oh,
and then he does a whole circle, and then looking for Venom. And when he gets back to the meat packing plant, he's like, well, that's done. I didn't find him. And then Venom's like, hey! And he's like, oh, you finally found me, eh? He's like,
I found all your forms.
He's like, I
changed
know
your
where you live.
address?
No, he doesn't find them that way.
Oh, okay.
But he's like, no, I've been following you all day.
You're very easy to follow. You're brightly colored.
You're brightly colored, and you rely so much on your spider sense. He's like,
And I don't set it
off. So they fight, and during the battle, Peter's web pack with his change of dress forms gets torn. We don't see the payoff of that until later, but in the meantime, check out this dope fight. Spider-Man swings over to a row of carcasses that are hanging from meat hooks, and he kicks them all into Venom, and Venom rips one in half menacingly. It's pretty awesome looking.
That is awesome.
Very Predator 2-ish.
Yeah. And then Venom takes a giant vat. When I say giant, I mean the size of a car, of animal runoff.
That must smell so bad.
And he dumps it all on Spider-Man.
So, Eddie Brock can lift a giant car-sized vat of animal guts?
Presumably.
That's superhuman strength.
Yeah, no,
I don't
I know.
care how much he lifts. He would not be able to do that unless his power is augmented
yeah.
by the suit.
Oh, I know.
So they're
I know.
starting to introduce.
They're starting to introduce this idea. Well,
the suit is actually gives you super.
it has to. Well, it will, because of the retcons. In the original conceit of the suit, it does not amplify anything.
Right.
Now, obviously, because of pop culture influence and also retconning, it does.
Well, we need Venom to pose a threat to Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Spider-Man is superpowered, therefore we need a mechanism for Venom to become superpowered.
Yes.
I guess it's the suit.
And you could argue that maybe the suit only amplifies your that doesn't make any sense, because okay, let's say that Venom, Eddie works out a lot, so the suit amplifies his already superhuman physique.
Right.
But that would mean that Spider-Man is 10 times stronger because he already has spider strength.
Right, he should be stronger with
He
the
should
suit.
be even stronger with the suit.
Okay, so
Maybe it has a ceiling. Maybe the suit can't amplify your power above.
no, I can make you as strong as 10 people.
Right.
Spider-Man's already as strong as 25 people.
Yes, I can make you. Well, no, I can make you as strong as Spider-Man.
And no stronger.
Right. It just coincidentally, you are the glass ceiling of my strength amplification method.
Imprinting.
Yep, so you couldn't tell that I was able to enhance strength, but I always was able to.
Or maybe the suit, my proximity to you, I've figured out how to weave fibers within musculature to approximate your strength on other people.
Because I liked being so strong on you that I was like, this Eddie guy, it's not gonna cut it. I gotta change. I gotta figure out a way to make him that strong.
And that's why he's in part of him.
Yeah, well, also, now that we're bonded, I can actually, get into your DNA and alter it.
Right.
I just assumed it would be the muscular structure.
Or just the muscular structure.
Yeah, I just enhance.
I didn't, okay, that's actually not so bad. All right, here we go. Peter doesn't need the amplification because he's spider-powered.
And the suit was just a berry.
And the suit was just a barrier. It was a costume, right? But when it gets to Brock, because they are connected, they're one person, it is able to weave into his muscles and his whole being and amplify it.
Yeah.
And because Brock is already roided out, basically, he's amplifying an already higher level of strength.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not even that like he's changed his muscles, because like the way I see it, like Peter Parker isn't magically strong. The spider bite changed some aspect of his physique. Mm-hmm. And so theoretically it could be replicated, right?
Right.
Like your muscles are in a different configuration than most people's.
Right.
So I can change them. Or more likely, the suit's like I put parts of myself into your muscles.
Yeah.
And inflate so that I make you stronger. I mean, either way, it doesn't make any sense.
Something like that.
But the suit has to make you stronger.
The suit also like changes the structure of his face and stuff. So because he's got it's not just there's teeth projected in front of a man's face.
Those are my teeth.
It's like part of his head.
Right, yeah.
All that stuff.
Right.
That's in Venom's
except
mouth.
when it splits and you see that Brock's head is underneath it. No, the Venom mask. Like the Venom head is a head on top of it. But when he eats brains, Brock digests them. Right?
Presumably.
That's how it should work, because otherwise, well,
how great would it be if it's like, no, the suit eats the brains.
Yeah.
It just goes down like the front of my chin.
Right. And it falls out the bottom.
I don't want that.
People's body parts when he does
the symbiote can absorb that nutrient. That grosses me out.
I'm okay with that. I prefer that.
That's
rather
horrific.
than Eddie Brock is a cannibal.
That's just imagining though that Eddie Brock is just like in there and there's just like body parts just coming in. He's just like, oh god.
I have to assume it's like augmented reality, where he's like suspended in there. He's like in a haptic suit.
Right. He can't sense what's happening.
No, he's like this.
He's looking through Venom's eyes. He's seeing what Venom's seeing, not the horror of being encased in Venom.
Encased in a living being. Yeah. Oh, it has to.
Yeah, that's better.
That's
Instead
way
of
better.
eating brains, I'm making you see like we're eating a
delicious apple pie. Yeah. So Spider-Man is just drowned in offal and run off, and it's just a Spider-Man is a hero, but beneath his mask, he is like a man, and like all men, he has a breaking point.
Oh.
So he's just like,
and
I am covered in
guts dumped on him.
Yes. And so he freaks out, smashes massive equipment behind Venom, which collapses onto him, and he's like, I have to leave.
I need to go take a shower.
I don't care if you're alive or not.
Yep.
I'm just going.
Yes. So he leaves, and Venom finds the "We've moved" announcement, and it goes, guess who's coming to dinner? I'm like, all right.
Okay.
You guys are really high on your own supply. So, Pete takes a shower. He gets ready for the day. He's going to take Aunt May out. And when he opens the door, Eddie Brock is outside.
Oh.
Then Eddie Brock says, hi, I'm Eddie Brock. Can Peter come out and play? And immediately starts ingratiating himself with Aunt May. You must be Aunt May. What a lovely woman you are. How innocent you must be. And he's like kissing her hand, and he puts his arm around her, and Peter's trying to like crush his arm with his spider strength, but the suit creates a barrier. So I guess this is where they decide, like, all right, it's been 13, 14 issues. Let's make it the suit makes you more strong.
Right.
Also, I should point out in the previous episode, he has like molars and stuff. They've changed it.
Yep.
In the ensuing
spikes.
issues, he's got the sharp teeth now.
Yeah.
And he's drooling a lot.
Like, it looks
more.
stupid with the molars and creepy.
I
It's
like
actually
it
less
better.
creepy with spikes.
Yeah, I mean, and
'Cause
the
it's a
audience
horror
likes
mouth.
it too. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cooler.
It's way better.
Yes.
They've really, I mean, this is the Venom design.
Yeah,
Like,
they've nailed it.
locked it in.
Yep.
This is like
It'll
my
never get better. Peak
image.
Venom.
Yeah.
Agreed. So while that's happening, so Eddie's like, I'm sorry, I gotta pull Peter away from you, Aunt May, but Peter and I have things to talk about. And so she leaves, and Pete's like, okay. They take a walk.
Yeah.
Through Forest Hills. Like, I give up. How'd you find me? And he goes, you left your clothes. And he's like, shit.
You dumbass.
All right, well,
You didn't happen to bring the clothes and those change of address forms,
I'm
did you?
kind of in a
'Cause
tough situation.
I kind of need those.
I need them.
Yeah. And he's like, so my question is, why didn't you just attack me as Venom and expose me, for being Spider-Man? And he's like, well, for one thing, I didn't want to hurt your Aunt May. And for another, if we outed you, all your villains would show up and they'd get in the way of my vengeance. I will never betray your secret because I can't share you with anybody. I'm like, that's the Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's pre-Joker, knowing that Batman is Bruce Wayne. So really, Joker's Venom. Anyway, so he's like, all right, well, listen, I had a boss at the Globe who had an estate on Long Island. Meet me there in the morning, and then we can have our final showdown. And Spider-Man's like, okay.
Under the bleachers after
school.
reset. Yeah. Like,
sure, I certainly won't bring lots of reinforcements like Reed Richards and the Sonic gun.
He goes, don't call anybody, don't bring any friends. Come alone. He's like, okay.
I'll know.
And so Peter's like fun. So he puts on his Spider-Man costume in a spectacular McFarlane image, and on his way to the Four Freedoms Plaza, he saves a dude, and then goes to the Fantastic Four. He's like, so Ben, and again, this is another weird day where 3/4 of the Fantastic Four are busy, and I think it's just because Todd wants to draw Ben Grimm.
It's like the only one I like drawing is the Thing.
Yeah, and it's and only when he's going through his weird metamorphosis,
bearded chameleon phase,
where he has like weird offshoots and stuff. If you think this is weird, you should see his girlfriend. McFarlane's like, oh shit, there was no scene where someone explained who Eddie Brock and Venom were. That's perfect. Peter can do it to the Thing.
Great.
As the Thing, you were part of the Fantastic Four when we were on the Banner's planet. You know that's where the alien symbiote costume came from.
Do we need to go all the way
Must
back?
be to the Secret Wars. It was 84.
Who cares?
Every time. 5 years ago.
It just makes it make less sense.
Yes. Like,
just pretend that didn't happen, because that's the dumbest origin for Venom you could possibly imagine. It came out of a machine, and you thought it was a costume?
Yep, and then I brought it here.
What?
And then I rejected it, and then it escaped, and then I rejected
it found me again.
And then it found Eddie, and Eddie's a guy they invented right after that, and so he shows up.
Wait a minute, you were a horrible monster with sharp teeth?
No,
and stuff?
before that it was just a suit. It just looked like my regular
Why does it look different now?
Oh, because it hates me, and it bonded with him, and so it chose to look like that now.
Why does that guy hate you?
Oh, because because he's mad that I ruined a story that he wrote for his newspaper.
Look, if you don't want to tell me where it came from, that's fine, but don't lie to my face.
No, that's really what happened.
That can't be what happened, because that's insane.
So is he.
I can see it in your eyes, you're lying.
You don't have that power.
And that's not why we do that. And that's why we don't use that as a metric for how to measure lying. Anyway, so it's just like this image of Pete looking really despondent and Ben putting his hand on his shoulder, going like, "Look, we got you covered, pal. You call us, and we will come a running, no problem." I'm like, I really like this moment. It's just really cute.
I like that idea. I get the feeling it's not going to happen.
No. Peter goes back home, and Eddie is helping Aunt May with the laundry, and he goes, "Come on, Eddie, let's talk outside." And he goes around the corner. He goes, "What the crap are you still doing here? This is between you and me." And he goes, "Yeah, not the Fantastic Four."
Oh.
And he's like, "Ah, crap."
How does he know?
Because I followed you.
Because I keep following. You never turn around.
I have nothing to do. I have no job. I have no girlfriend. I have no house. I live in the sewer.
Yep.
And
Peter's a moron.
I've murdered children before. I'll kill your aunt. I don't want to. Don't make me.
Right. I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
But I also do kind of like doing it.
I'm going to kill this Lubinsky guy.
Oh no, please don't.
No.
Threaten me with a good time. So he leaves. And so then Pete talks to Mary Jane about how he's got to have a showdown with Venom. And then, so Peter's like, how am I going to be... I need to team up with somebody.
He's a serious threat.
So how about I team up with Dr. Charles Jefferson, a psychiatrist that I met in a previous story.
What?
What's he gonna do?
What indeed?
Well, I've listened to your problems. That sounds rough.
Yeah.
If you survive, come back, we'll talk about it.
Please. You sound like my kids are gonna go to college on you. Because this is, just the alien alone is enough for me. But you're telling me that, like, your girlfriend was murdered in front of you?
Whoa, Doc. I can't pay you. I don't have the money for that.
911.
Hi, Spider-Man's harassing me?
Yeah, Spider-Man's attacked me. So, yeah, no, Peter goes to Dr. Jefferson, and he's just like, I need some kind of psychological insight on what my problem is.
What your problem is?
I need you to help me. Like, I'll explain to you who Eddie Brock is and who Venom is.
I need you to give me, like, a devastating question or statement I can say to him that'll cause him to, like, defeat himself.
Yes.
Psychologically.
Yes.
Hands down, yes.
Yes, he doesn't do that, but that is essentially what he's looking for.
Right, because he saw, like, a movie where that happened or something.
Yes.
It's like, I need, like, a secret weapon.
I gotta get under his
skin. Like a mind weapon. He seems kind of unstable. Maybe I can just push him over the edge.
Well, and I will say that, like, this is in keeping, because Peter constantly and forever underestimates and otherizes the suit. Right? Eddie meets the suit, and immediately Eddie's like, "You're a person, and we're friends or lovers or something. Like we're together now.
Right?
We're a person together now."
Oh no!
Peter is like, "That is a thing." Like, and
right.
it betrayed.
And it is wrong.
It betrayed
and bad.
me by being sentient in the first place. And so, what the psychiatrist essentially tells him is like, the suit is in love with you. Like, the suit hates you that much. No, that suit wants to fuck you. Like, that's what it sounds like to me.
Right. It
And
sounds
Peter's
like it's obsessed with
and
you.
because it's the late 80s, obviously Peter like takes the psychiatrist's advice with a grain of salt because they're quacks.
Then why did you talk to him in the first place?
Because they are actually beneficial.
Right. Well, someone told me they were, but then I didn't like what he had to say, so now he's a quack.
Well, no. He doesn't. No. It's more like I don't take a lot of stock in what he says. You know, he says that the suit seems to exhibit some kind of a love for me, but the only love it seems to want to administer to me is the kiss of death. Ha 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 ha.
So I'm just gonna throw that advice right out the window.
Well, so that seems like a waste of an evening, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe I'll use it later.
Maybe I'll just fight Venom and I'll win.
Right.
You know?
Maybe I'll dig out that nugget in like
the 0 hour.
Yeah,
of the
the moment of my like most.
Oh, you mean like on the third to last page? Yes.
Yeah.
So he changes into a Spider-Man costume, and Venom immediately is like, "Oh, you're wearing Spider-Man costume? Okay." Like I've been following you the whole
it's
time.
on.
Yeah. Oh, good, you're here. I've been here literally since yesterday. And so.
By the way, I saw you talking to that psychiatrist. What did he say?
Yeah. Well, I saw you go there, and I was like, "That's fine." I don't even know what he wants.
That's not a superhero person.
That's not gonna. He's not gonna help you at all.
That's not gonna help.
Those guys they're loonies.
They're quacks. So they fight on the beach of Long Island, and it's a fun fight. You know, like they grapple.
I've been waiting 3 issues for this. It better be a fun fight.
You know, Venom gets the drop on him, and they fight out to the beach.
Does Hydra Man make a sudden reappearance?
No, forget about Hydra Man. He was only there to show you how lame he is in comparison to Venom. So the suit uses a piece of itself to like go under the sand and then grab Spider-Man and pull him under the sand, and then he punches him away from him and chases after him some more.
Does he also kick sand in his face and call him a weakling?
That's right, yeah.
And his girlfriend?
Yeah, exactly. Peter remembers that fire hurt the symbiote, or at least kept the symbiote away, so maybe it'll work on Venom. First time we're going to use that. So he grabs like a flare and shoots it at some adjacent
oily rags or something.
There's a boat in this like kind of dock, and there's some gasoline spilt nearby, and so he fires it at that, and Venom immediately disregards it. He's like, "Oh, what an amusing failure that was." And I'm like, how do we get Venom is weak to fire out of that interaction? I guess because he tried to avoid it, but he seems to be pretty engulfed in flames right here, and it doesn't seem to bother him whatsoever.
Yeah,
but again,
at all.
We're just selectively choosing what hurts Venom.
But then
Maybe
he goes right into
OP.
the water.
He does dive into the water.
So it's like, well, I'm put on a good front, but I do need to immediately get out of these flames and go in the water.
Yes. Spider-Man's like, maybe I can hit him with a spider tracer. He won't alert me to his danger, but I will know where he is.
Okay.
And the suit senses the tracer and just moves it off of him, and he crushes it. Okay, I failed. I'm leaving. How about I bail? That seems to have worked at least 2 times in this fight.
Oh boy.
So as he tries to leave, Venom throws a hunk of wood at him, and then he falls into the water, and he just pushes him under the water and just holds him there.
So if you throw something at Spider-Man,
Yeah.
if Venom throws it, does it also not set off a spider sense?
It should, but I think it's just really fast. I think it's more like, yeah, I know there's danger.
I'm trying to get away.
I'm trying to get away.
I can't get away any farther.
Yeah. Right? His spider sense should have definitely sensed the door more than any Venom attack in history.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Also, can't he
dodge
avoid bullets and stuff?
I think he's groggy and scared.
Okay. Yeah. He's just slow.
Yes.
You gotta understand, he hates sand.
It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere.
I could have used a panel where he senses it coming and he's like, I've got to dodge. Oh no, I'm too slow, and gets hit anyway.
We only have one panel.
Yeah,
Literally, we don't even get a panel. Venom throws and makes contact in one panel.
Yeah.
Which you're not supposed to do.
You don't even see him holding the wood that he's going to throw it in.
He starts to break a piece
Oh,
of it.
yeah, so you're supposed to read between the lines, I guess.
Yeah. So Spider-Man is being drowned. He boxes Venom's ears, or just hits him in the head with his fist, and then immediately tears off his Spider-Man costume. So he's in his Fruit of the Looms, and he
All
goes,
right, we're gonna fight skin to skin.
He goes, "You want me? Then take me. I'm yours."
Oh.
And Eddie's like, What?
Excuse me?
In a retconned version of this story told third person, Venom's retcon reaction is, this fight has taken a turn. And I'm like, do you watch back issues? Because that's the kind of thing we would, that is a joke we would have made already. Venom's response is, aw, you don't want to play anymore? And he's, I'm not talking to you, Brock, I'm talking to the alien. You want to merge with me? Fine, I'm interested. And Venom's like, oh, please, you can't, and the suit starts
no.
He's like, no!
See? I use the psychiatrist's words to prove just how weak your relationship is.
Yeah, I ruined your relationship.
That's awesome.
And so the suit sloughs off of him and goes and starts like going towards him, and he's like, this is really creepy.
Yep.
And I'm like, yes. It started creepy when you ripped your clothes off and told the suit, you want me, then take me, I'm yours. But the suit starts like...
Ass first, too, just waving it at him.
Yeah. Just, you want it? So the suit starts like lapping over him, and he's like, nah. But Peter knows that like it's bonded to Brock. So what's it gonna do? You know, if
I know, I'll have both of them in one suit.
Yeah.
It's just Peter and Eddie just stuck there
stop!
inside.
That's a horror show.
They're just next to each other continually.
That's a Cronenbergian horror show. So Peter's like, you know, obviously, oh, the Dr. Jefferson was correct. You know, the suit is in love with me. I kind of hope that the trauma of breaking the bond with Brock would like render the suit out of commission, but it seems to be attaching to me, and now it's starting to bond with me.
I didn't think this through.
I shouldn't have given consent.
But now the suit is on both of them. It's attached to Brock, and it's trying to attach to Peter, and Peter and Peter and Brock are completely rendered unconscious as a result of this experience. And when Peter wakes up, the suit slides off of him and goes back to Brock because the suit is already attached. It's like no takes backsies.
Right.
It's on Brock forever. So it sloughs off of Peter, and Peter's like, whew, that was a crazy adventure. Better call the Fantastic Four and pick this trash up, and I guess I'll never see Venom again.
He
That's
certainly won't
how it ends?
escape just as easily as he did. Yeah,
That's
literally.
pathetic.
He leaves him on the beach.
Yep.
He walks away.
Well, it happened like,
I think he's just
Well,
dazed.
we're just both knocked out. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
We both could have been killed.
Yep.
Yeah, but I woke up first, so
I woke up first.
Well, because like Eddie Brock was incapacitated by the pain of the suit like leaving him.
Yes.
Peter didn't have that problem
No.
because he wasn't bonded to it.
Yeah, that's right.
And Peter has a healing factor.
That's true.
That
too. Peter,
Yeah.
yeah, Brock's a regular guy.
Yep.
What the hell? I love the psychodrama that Peter pulls on the suit.
Yeah.
Also, he has damaged Venom more irreparably than any fists could have.
Yeah.
Because he's sown the seeds of doubt in Brock's mind.
It's like,
Yep.
you'll never be enough for this suit. It'll always want
It'll
me.
always prefer It'll always, no matter how much you want to kill him, no matter how much you profess to hate him and want to eat his brains, that is not the thing you want to eat on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Boy, Eddie, you thought you hated Spider-Man before?
Now.
Meanwhile, the suit's like, maybe we should take it easy on him.
It's pulled its punches. That never comes up. It's not like, you know, the suit and Brock have to like deal with couples counseling or anything. Like,
I can't believe
They go
it.
back to Dr.
Believe
Jefferson?
me.
yeah, they're like, well, we saw him talk to that guy. I don't know if he actually did follow him to Dr. Jefferson, but who cares? But yeah, it's weird. That never comes up, even though it's the first true defeat of Venom. I mean, he makes Venom fall in the last one.
Right.
But yeah. But I always love the successes when Spider-Man uses his wits. Like when it's not just like, I just summoned all the strength and I just beat the shit out of him.
Well, that's kind of his wits. It was also like I don't know, maybe this?
I love Hail Marys too. I'm down for that. Like, you smell.
I have no other recourse. I accept.
Yeah. Do you want to bang?
I'll take it over death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll use the information that was given to me by that quack on the off chance that he's not a quack.
Yeah.
Probably I'm gonna die.
Hey, Venom,
oh, it worked.
I'm DTF. And the suit's like, yeah.
No.
I think it sounds weird
still
too.
a quack.
No,
I'm just better.
Well, it's just like the quack helped me with that, but I'm also not going to.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Well, I don't want to. I don't know. I'm not going to therapy.
But also, like, thank God the suit didn't rebond to me.
Yeah. It didn't attach.
Yeah,
Thank
but
God.
he's got rid of it before,
the whole point is
though.
it can't because it was attached to Brock. They are intrinsic. What?
Well, he's gotten rid of it before, so it's like, oh no, the suit's going on him. It's like it did be previously.
But
like,
he doesn't have any huge bells anymore.
There's bells all over the place, man.
That's true. Yeah. First adventure with Venom, 1 issue, a little longer than the usual length. Second adventure with Venom, 3 issues, but
more deaths,
more action, but like 100% more Nathan Lebensky. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he knows where he lives.
He knows who
met
he
Aunt
is.
May. Well, he's always known who he is.
He beat the crap out of Black Cat.
But yeah, he beat up Black Cat. He doesn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's going to be something he has to find out later.
Unless
he's
she doesn't tell him.
swinging around. She's going to kick the crap out of him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, I met your friend.
What?
Yeah, he told me all about all the stuff I missed.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, I thought you meant Mary Jane.
Right. Eventually, Pete and Black Cat become friends. The whole point is, like, Peter loses his powers, and Black Cat gets her new powers and a new suit and stuff. It's a whole thing.
Is this after she gets the new powers?
No,
or
this
has she
is
not
before.
done that yet?
She's just a person.
Okay.
She gets rid of her powers.
Oh.
She has no powers right now. She's just a girl in a suit. Getting the shit kicked out of her by a horrible monster.
Whoa. Careful how you talk about my girlfriend like that.
Another Venom story. The rest of it. Now you know the rest of the Venom story. It is ridiculous.
Now we've done the first several adventures of Venom through Venom Returns.
You could do a whole Venom's playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Venom. We did Venom Returns. We did Venom Lethal Protector. We did at least one of the other mini-series. Separation Anxiety.
Separation Anxiety, yep.
So yeah, there's
War of the
Symbiotes.
Filling in all the early Venom stuff.
Yeah. And there's a ton more. There's so many miniseries.
Yay.
There's one where he teams up with a nobody villain named Mace. There's one where he teams up with a second-rate Ghost Rider character named Vengeance. There's one where he fights the Juggernaut.
Ooh.
Wait, there's a character called Vengeance, but Ghost Rider is the spirit of vengeance?
Well, one of them is. There's a lot of Ghost Riders. And that one's Vengeance. And he looks ridiculous. And that's saying something for a Ghost Rider. But those are stories for another time. I can't wait. Let us know in the comments down below, which Venom miniseries do you want us to cover next? I have one in the wings, and it's none of the ones I mentioned.
Okay.
I just want to know what you think.
But I want to know what you guys want, because maybe it'll supersede it. Who knows? There's a Venom 3 coming out.
What?
Vithrenum?
Vithrenum?
They're gonna.
Or Vena 3? Like the 3, it's like Venom 3, and then it turns into an M? Or Threnum?
Venom cubed.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's called Venom The Last Dance.
The Last Dance.
When I thought that Let There Be Carnage was the lowest common denominator, the bottom of the barrel for Venom titles, The Last Dance came in clutch.
Is that better or worse than Let There Be Carnage?
Right? I hate Let There Be Carnage so much.
Is that going to have, what's her name?
Shriek or... No, Scream?
No, not Scream. No, the chick from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Julia Stiles?
Yeah, it's going to have Julia Stiles in it where they just dance.
That's because she's in Save the Last Dance. I've been calling Venom 3 Save the Last Dance because I'm like, come on, you might as well.
Venom 3 Dirty Dancing, I don't know.
Something like that. It's got dancing in it. Yeah. He dances in the trailer.
The dancing one. Venom 3, the dancing one.
Venom 3, Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner.
Yes. I can't wait.
Are good titles.
I will not be seeing it in theaters, obviously. As is my tradition of Venom movies.
Well, also just any movies nowadays.
Yeah, or any movie. That's not true. I saw Furiosa. Venom. What the hell? They even have a title for this?
What do you call this? Venom. Spider-Man Venom.
Open the first page. Maybe there's something there.
No, there's not. It's
Dead Meat.
A Matter of Life and Dead Meat, and The Sand and the Fury.
Lol.
It's all 3.
Yeah.
All right.
Just Venom. The second part. The second adventure.
Venom's second adventure.
Venom's second arc.
Venom Returns? That's the one we did.
That's the actual.
Wow.
That's the name
Venom,
of it.
Because he does return already.
Returns.
Yeah. Venom Returns again is what they should have called the second one, but they
Right?
didn't. It's just Venom Returns. So this is Venom again.
Venom again. There you have
Still
it.
Venom.
Still Venom. This is collected in another volume, so it's in the comments down below. Pick it up. It's worth it. The McFarlane art is great.
Yep.
Can't be beat.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, sure it can, but it's still really fun.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Classic stuff. Really fun, really cool.
Yeah, there were no complaints about the art this entire book.
No.
Except for some of the people look like cartoon characters.
Oh, yes. If you're dealing with...
like Chrissy.
Chrissy, the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Lebensky.
Yeah. Other than that, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Right. Well, they just look exaggerated. You know, Aunt May looks like a cartoon. Aunt May does look like Miss Grundy.
Hands down, yes.
You know, but doesn't she? I mean, come on.
Right. It's not that far
Always
off.
has, always will.
Yeah. I say yes. But I think we've had enough of Venom for a while. So we'll see you guys next time with another episode.
Time to have some anti-Venom.
Oh, hey, you know people want that.
Oh.
Bad. I understand. I hear you. And I think we have at least one volume, so maybe we'll do that sometime. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys next time with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading. Have you guys heard the Eminem Venom song from the movie?
No.
What?
Yeah,
From Venom 3?
Yeah, they commissioned Eminem do a rap about Venom, and it sucks on toast,
What
as you could
the
possibly
fuck?
imagine. But like, it's like
I can't believe.
Marshall,
What do you need, the money?
right? Come on.
He's like, when was the last time you heard a song from me?
Right. I want a song people will listen to.
Well, it ain't gonna be Venom.
I guarantee you it's been at least 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, you know why he did it? I'll bet because he's in his 40s.
He's probably just a fan.
Venom's cool.
Yeah, he likes Venom.
My
probably.
kid loves Venom.
I think it's
He
more like
told me I
he
have to
likes
do that
Venom.
song.
We're not talking about Martin Sheen, who's inexplicably in Spawn. By the way, it'd be so funny if he's like, my son likes Spawn. You mean Charlie?
No.
No,
Emilio.
you mean, yeah, Emilio's a huge Spawn fan. No, it's his grandson that liked Spawn. Or a nephew or something.
Right.
I love the idea of like, no, my son. But it's like, that was 97. It's like, you mean your full-grown adult children like Emilio Estevez and friggin' Charlie Sheen, they like Spawn?
They're like, yeah.
Why aren't they in Spawn then? They're actors. They could be in it. It's like, no. A younger person.
No, they were doing Men at Work.
They were too busy being men at work. Well, I don't know which is worse. Which one should they have done? They're both box office flops and terrible and have Sheens in them.
All the Sheens.
But
yeah, there's no way that Eminem is not a huge Venom fan.
Right?
There's no
Come
way.
on.
That dude reads comics.
Yeah.
Straight up.
He's been in Marvel Comics before. There's a Punisher Eminem crossover comic. What? Yeah. People have asked us to cover
What does
it. And
that
I'm
mean?
Like, no.
How's that a crossover?
It means
is
that,
he
like,
crossing over Eminem's comic book?
No, like
With
Eminem
Punishers?
becomes a character in
That's
the
like
comic.
a cameo.
Yeah, well, an extended one where
he
the two of
teams
them
up with
team
Punisher.
up.
Is there a rap battle featured where he defeats a villain through rap?
I have thumbed through it because I don't like Eminem. I don't care, so I'm like, no.
Does the Punisher pick up a mic and rap battle back at Eminem?
No, he doesn't. But that would be awesome. Wouldn't that be great to find out that Frank Castle's a secret rapper?
It'd be great if he like goes up on stage and he takes the mic and he's about to do it and then he's
There you go.
It's like, I'm not doing that. What are you, crazy?
I mean, you could get away with that with like Blade.
Yes.
It's like he goes to a big vampire concert.
Oh my God.
I'm not great at rapping, but I brought some friends who are great. Give me a beat.
Yeah.
Gold.
I'm spitting lyrics left and right. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Oh no. That sucks.
Talking about spitting fire
Yeah.
from my gun. Blam, 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 blam.
That sucks. That sucks so much, it should be in a
It's probably
movie.
in there.
Yeah. It'd probably happen.